third, when religion is bad, when you compensate. Compensation. Compensation is when one area is lacking, you overachieve in another area to make up for the void. And I'm talking about overachieving in the area of religion. You know, I have met people that just couldn't get enough of religion. You know, it's church 6 days a week, twice on Sunday, it's Bible studies, and they're going through the merry-go-round of churchianity. They can't get enough of religion. Often that is a sign that people are compensating. They're overachieving in the area of spirituality to make up for a void in their life. There was a guy that lived in my sister's neighborhood, loved to talk about Jesus, loved to talk about church, loved to talk about religion. He was caught cheating on his wife. He had a long-going affair with another woman. Eventually they divorced, him and his wife divorced, but you know, if you would have met this guy, you would have thought he was the most God-centered Christian out there because he just loved to talk the talk. But to compensate, he overachieved in the area of being deeply religious to make up for his infidelity. And I'm convinced that a lot of men get into the ministry for this very reason. They are compensating. They're trying to, they just think, well, I can just be a man of God if I can just get more religion, if I can serve, if I can have a church, if I can pastor a group of people. You know, I will be more, you know, I will compensate. Yeah, compensation. People do it all the time. I have met people whose lives are a total wreck, dysfunctional, chaotic, screwed up, and yet deeply religious. Compensation. And the more screwed up a person's life may be, the more they compensate with religion. This often happens again and again and again. I remember at our church there was a couple there that basically as a husband and wife couldn't stand each other, but they couldn't get enough of church. They would just loved it and would hang out all day long at church. You know, would have probably made a bed and slept there all night long if I would have allowed it, but they just couldn't get enough to church. And yet they hated each other as a couple, as a husband and wife. And I always thought, why don't they get marriage counseling? Why don't they fix the real problem, and that is a marriage that's not working, instead of getting more religion? The way compensation works is this: instead of fixing me and acknowledging my sin, instead of me repenting, I get more religion. I become more spiritual. I talk about Jesus all the time. Compensation. When religion is bad, some of the most deeply religious people will have to face, I believe, the threat of Gehenna fire. Why? Because they lived a life of compensation. The answer for those who like to compensate is fix you. Fix your problem. You are the problem. That's the answer when we're compensating. 1 Corinthians 6 and verse 9 says, "Know you not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God." You see, the answer is not more religion. The answer is not, well, I got to get more spiritual. I got to do the Lord's work. That is not the answer. The answer is fix you. This verse says that no matter how spiritual you think you are, if you do these things, and all you got to do is just go through the list and ask yourself, am I doing these things? You're not going to be in the kingdom of God. Regardless of how spiritual, no matter how much you have compensated, no matter how much you have served the Lord, no matter how much religious activity you've been involved in, if you are compensating to make up for the void of true, genuine character, and that's what God is after, the character of God, that you have the characteristics of God, God's nature.